Evergrande chairman Su Jiayin in hot water, crime suspected, second son arrested. Yuan depreciates, Chinese people's enthusiasm for traveling wanes. Chinese hackers breach U.S. State Department, steal 60,000 emails. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Evergrande chairman Su Jiayin in hot water, crime suspected, second son arrested. China Evergrande confirmed that coercive measures have been taken against its founder Su Jiayin for suspected crimes. There is news that before and after the Evergrande storm, Su had transferred some of his assets overseas through technical divorce and the establishment of trust funds in the United States. Su Jiayin is accused of transferring assets overseas through technical divorce. On September 28, China Evergrande issued an announcement on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange stating that it had received notice from relevant departments that Evergrande's executive director and board chairman Su Jiayin had been subject to coercive measures due to suspected violations of laws and crimes. Evergrande also announced that the company shares will cease trading on the stock exchange from September 28. Experts believe that the authorities' pursuit of Evergrande and its founder has entered a new stage of using justice to pursue criminal liability. In an interview with the mainland media 21st Century Business Herald, a criminal law expert analyzed that judging from Evergrande's announcement, the relevant departments characterized Su Jiayin as suspected of illegal crimes and took forced measures. In this case, the coercive measures are likely to be different from the house arrest that has been widely rumored abroad. On September 27, Bloomberg revealed that Su Jiayin had been controlled by the police at the beginning of this month. Su surrendered his passport and ID card and could only move around in a specific residence. He was not allowed to go out at will, nor could he contact the outside world. Local media Sohu even reported that, on the day Su Jiayin was taken away, a police car from the Guangzhou Municipal Public Security Bureau appeared near Su Jiayin's office. Witnesses said that he was also handcuffed. On September 21, the Chinese community began to spread rumors that Su Jiayin was arrested and said that he and his bodyguards once fiercely resisted. The above-mentioned criminal law expert said that judging from the current public information, the issues he, Su Jiayin, is involved in are likely to be related to multiple crimes. They are very complicated and may take a long time to clarify. A senior observer in the field of corporate governance said that when Evergrande was at the cusp of the storm, Su Jiayin was deceiving creditors by shouting the slogan "Never Lie Flat," but at the same time he had engaged in silent technical divorce with Ding Yumei to transfer assets abroad. According to this observer, due to the agreement of Evergrande Group to be listed in Hong Kong through the small red chip structure, most of the more than 90 billion in accumulated dividends distributed by Evergrande Group were taken away by Su Jiayin and Ding Yumei. The money was transferred overseas through offshore companies in the British Virgin Islands and Cayman Islands that they 100% controlled, and then passed through a technical divorce and finally fell into the pocket of overseas ex-wife Ding Yumei. According to previous statistics from Qinglu Studio, the Su Jiayin family ranks first in terms of the cumulative amount of dividends received by major shareholders. Since its listing in 2009, China Evergrande has paid a cumulative dividend of 73.4 billion yuan. Su Jiayin and his wife have controlled about 70% of China Evergrande's equity all year round, which means that the couple's cumulative dividends have exceeded 50 billion yuan, accounting for 68.5%. Second son taken away. An insider revealed to China Business News that the core members of Evergrande who were taken away recently include Su Tinghe, or Peter Su, the second son of Su Jiayin, who once led the work of Evergrande Wealth. Su Jiayin's second son is known as Peter within Evergrande. His information rarely appears in public information. The last time he received attention was in December 2021. He was exposed to the outside world and sold a house on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, USA, at a discount of $12.5 million. Within Evergrande, Su Tinghe first took charge of the business of the Pearl River Delta branch and was later transferred to the general manager of Evergrande Wealth, responsible for specific business. Du Liang, whom the Shenzhen police previously reported to have taken criminal coercive measures, is his subordinate. Try to escape from his golden cicada shell. As early as late July this year, the public account Shui Shongqia on the Chinese internet published an article claiming that Su Jiayin had already escaped from the Evergrande Group legally before Evergrande Group was exposed. The preservation of personal property is not affected by Evergrande's losses. It is rumored that Su Jiayin set up a trust fund for his son in the United States. In addition, a public account claimed on August 27 this year that Su Jiayin had established a 2.3 billion yuan single-family trust fund in the United States before declaring Evergrande's property bankruptcy, and the beneficiary was agreed to be Su Jiayin's son. It was agreed that the 2.3 billion fund could only be deposited in the bank for a fixed term, and his son could only enjoy dividends and interest. The article analysis pointed out that this means that in the future, even if Su's son suffers a business loss and owes a huge debt, the creditors can only take away the interest he obtained through the trust fund. The principal of the fund is still safe. His grandson can inherit it. According to a September 28 report by China Business News, Su Jiayin and his son, as well as several Evergrande executives, have been taken away for investigation in recent times. The report quoted unnamed informed sources as saying that among the core members of Evergrande who were recently taken away for investigation, in addition to the already well-known former real estate group chairman Ku Peng, the legal representative and executive director of Evergrande Wealth Du Liang and others, it also includes Peter Su, Su Jiayin's second son, Pan Darong, the former CFO who is mainly responsible for the capital operation of the Evergrande department, and Xing Litao, the former chairman of Evergrande Real Estate Group and Evergrande Property Group. There are various signs that the authorities have fully launched the criminal prosecution of Evergrande and Su Jiayin's business empire is about to fall apart. According to public information, the main work of Evergrande is currently chaired by Executive Director Sean. It is said that Sean joined Evergrande in 2013, but he did not stand on the front desk before Evergrande's scandal, nor did he directly intervene in several sensitive businesses under investigation. Experts' opinions about the spotlight. Experts analyze that there are many reasons why Xi Jinping sacrificed Su Jiayin to worship the flag. However, with the explosion of Evergrande, the troubles in the operation of the entire state machine of the CCP have just begun. Akio Yaida, Xi Jinping takes the Su family to worship the flag. On September 27, many media outlets reported that Su Jiayin was taken away by the police and placed under residential surveillance a few days ago. He is now under house arrest in a residence in Beijing and has lost his freedom of movement. As early as September 21, there were rumors on mainland social media that Su Jiayin had been arrested, and he and his bodyguards fiercely resisted. On the 26th, Su Jiayin did not attend Evergrande's weekly meeting, which was hosted by CEO Sean instead. Senior media person Akio Yabata posted on Facebook on the 27th, Xi Jinping's biggest purpose in taking action against Su Jiayin is to shift most of the responsibility for China's economic deterioration onto others. In the future, if there are still migrant workers who cannot receive their wages, or if there are people not being able to get houses after paying for them, it will all become Su Jiayin's fault. As early as a month ago, when Evergrande filed for bankruptcy in the United States, some friends in China judged that Xi Jinping had decided to sacrifice Su Jiayin. He was going to be captured and sacrificed to the flag. But I didn't expect this day to come so quickly. Akio Yaida believes that the business empire created by Su Jiayin is a pyramid built with playing cards standing upright. It is very unstable and cannot withstand any disturbance. The development of the Chinese tycoons of Su Jiayin's generation relies on their boldness, good luck, and strong connections. However, as long as they leave China, it will be difficult for them to make money. Yokogawa, Evergrande's reorganization was rejected and Su Jiayin was arrested, reflecting four major issues. In addition to Su Jiayin, many current and former executives of Evergrande Group and its subsidiaries were taken away for investigation. At the same time, Evergrande's financing channels were blocked by the authorities, and its debt restructuring was put on hold. Evergrande issued an announcement on the evening of September 24 that since Evergrande Real Estate Group is under investigation by regulatory authorities, it cannot issue new bonds as part of its debt restructuring plan. Evergrande's overseas debt restructuring involves $30 billion. The original plan was to convert some of the existing debt into new bonds to ease the pressure of debt repayment. Yokogawa, an expert on China issues, said in Yokogawa Viewpoint that it seems that Evergrande's restructuring is no longer possible. The Chinese Communist Party's regulatory authorities have rejected Evergrande's restructuring plan, which shows that Beijing may give up on Evergrande. He said that Beijing's denial of Evergrande's restructuring plan this time and the custody of Evergrande's boss Su Jiayin reflected four major problems. First, China's real estate industry is in critical condition and difficult to save. The CCP has given up, at least on Evergrande. The second is that China's super rich, especially those involved in real estate, have colluded with power in their beginnings and development. Real estate companies rely on power, and many of them are the white gloves of powerful people. Su Jiayin is a typical red-top businessman. He has served as a member of the CPPCC for 3 terms and also served as a member of the CPPCC Standing Committee. Yokogawa said that Su Jiayin's arrest not only means that he has lost the protection of high-level officials, but also means that the honeymoon period of China's power and money is coming to an end. Yuan Hongbing, a well-known legal scholar living in Australia, once stated that Evergrande is related to Xing Qinghong's family. This is well known to everyone in Chinese officialdom. The people who have contact with Su Jiayin are Xing Qinghong's younger brother Xing Qinghai and Xing Qinghong's son Xing Wei. Xing Qinghong himself cannot come forward. Xing Qinghai represents Xing Qinghong's family. The reason why Su Jiayin's real estate business in China has become so big is because of the full support of Xing Qinghai. Of course, he is also the white glove of the Xing Qinghong family. Yuan Hongbing said that there is a saying circulating in Beijing official circles that Evergrande's thunderstorm is because Xi Jinping personally lit the fuse. He personally ordered not to allow financial institutions to continue lending to Evergrande. Of course, he targeted the powerful people behind it. It has been nearly 2 years since the Evergrande scandal broke out. Due to the huge involvement, the outside world once believed that Evergrande was too big to fail. Su Jiayin also threatened the Guangdong government with an open letter to obtain financing. Yokogawa said that the third problem reflected in Su Jiayin's accident is that Xi Jinping may have lost patience with the too big to fail situation. The so-called too big to fail is actually a kidnapping of money and power. You have to protect me, but it is useless to threaten Xi Jinping with this now. He believes that the fourth problem is that Xi Jinping is venting his anger on Su Jiayin and shirking responsibility. He said that there are 2 things about Evergrande that have a great impact on Xi Jinping. One thing is that real estate is the locomotive of the Chinese economy. Recently, there is news that Xi Jinping complained that the current economic mess is left by the previous government, and real estate is definitely a negative asset. In addition, Xi Jinping is now being criticized from all sides. He regards these dissatisfaction and criticism as the forces of the previous dynasty. Evergrande is an economic part of the forces of the previous dynasty. So Xi Jinping vents his anger on Su Jiayin and treats him as a scapegoat. Yokogawa said that in mainland China, the real estate problem is not only an economic problem, but also a political problem. Once the real estate industry collapses, there will be financial problems. The direct result is that civil servants in many places are now unable to get their salaries, and the entire bureaucracy system just can't work. He believes that Evergrande's explosion has just begun to cause trouble for the entire CCP's bureaucracy and the operation of the entire state machine. Yuan depreciates, Chinese people's enthusiasm for traveling wanes. As China's economic prosperity this year is not as good as expected, coupled with the continued depreciation of the yuan and the uncertain income prospects, Chinese people's enthusiasm for traveling has also diminished. Consulting firm Oliver Wyman conducted a survey with Chinese middle-class travelers in September. The survey found that 54% of the respondents who had traveled abroad before the COVID pandemic plans to travel this year, down 8 percentage points from 62% in a June survey. About 22% of the respondents said they do not plan to go overseas in the next 3 years, a significant increase from only 6% in June. The yuan depreciation has been dampening tourism interests. According to Reuters, the spot yuan has lost more than 5% to the US dollar so far this year, marking the worst performing currency in emerging Asia. Bloomberg cited the money managers saying that they are losing faith in China's ability to revive its economy, which suffers from rising non-performing loans and falling exports, in addition to the currency weakness, followed by global market rout. In this survey, the respondents are those who have the minimum monthly household income of at least 30,000 yuan, which represents China's middle class and is also a key driving force in helping to promote consumption recovery after the COVID pandemic. While their spending on experiential services such as travel and dining out has been resilient this year, there are questions about its sustainability. Imke Wouters, a partner at Oliver Wyman, said that although Chinese tourists are traveling again, the reopening of borders is taking longer than expected. The survey shows that 32% of the respondents said that due to the current economic downturn and uncertain political situation, their willingness to travel abroad has declined. Only 19% of them said they are more inclined to travel abroad. Chinese hackers breach U.S. State Department, steal 60,000 emails. A U.S. Senate staff member revealed on September 27 that Chinese hackers invaded the Microsoft email platform earlier this year and stole 60,000 emails from 10 accounts of the U.S. State Department. Politico reported that the person who disclosed the information was a staff member of U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt. According to a readout from Schmidt's staff member, top officials from the U.S. State Department revealed China's new hacks during a Capitol Hill briefing for staffers. He said that the hackers linked to the Chinese government stole the emails from the unclassified inboxes of 10 U.S. State Department employees as part of a high-profile hack this summer. The names of the victims have not been made public, but the readout revealed that the hack focused on the United States Indo-Pacific diplomatic efforts, with 9 of the 10 email accounts invaded at the State Department belonging to officials working on those issues. The other official was the one who works in Europe. According to the readout, among the most sensitive information stolen were the victims' travel itineraries and diplomatic deliberations. U.S. State Department Chief Information Officer Kelly Fletcher told the attendees at the Capitol Hill briefing that 10 Social Security numbers were viewed, or could have been viewed, via the Chinese hack. In the hacking incident, in addition to the U.S. State Department, more than 20 U.S. agencies are suspected of being breached by the Chinese hackers. However, most of the names of the victim agencies have not been revealed so far. The State Department officials said that the hackers used a token stolen from a Microsoft engineer and that a total of 25 entities were impacted by the breach. This large-scale hacking attack made relations between the United States and China even tougher, though the Chinese authorities have not admitted that they were behind the hacking incident. NTD News reported that, in July this year, Microsoft disclosed that Chinese hackers used a verification error in Microsoft code to invade the email accounts of 25 organizations around the world starting in May. The email account of Conda, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs, was also hacked. Even the email account of U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns was also invaded. When U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo visited China at the end of last month, she warned senior Chinese officials in person. In an interview with CNN afterwards, Raimondo pointed out that she directly mentioned to Chinese officials that her email was hacked before her visit to China, but the Chinese officials claimed not to know about it. She said it is important to put this matter on the table and let Chinese officials know that when China takes such actions, it will be difficult to build mutual trust between the United States and China. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths, and thank you for tuning in.